Well, today we're going to talk about an allegory. And an allegory is related to those others. It's related to a metaphor. It's related to fables that have morals at the end. And it's related to proverbs. In that, this is a story that you get to put your own meaning into. All right? So allegory is a little bit different because you get to... the writer sets up the story, but you get to apply your meaning into the story. All right? So... this allegory is called The Allegory of the Cave by Plato. Imagine prisoners chained since childhood deep inside a cave. All right? So there are these prisoners chained inside of a cave. Now, who lives in caves? Bears live in caves. Who else lives in caves? Bats live in caves. Cavemen live in caves, right? Right? Now, is this a great place for children to be living? No, right? And when you think of a cave, what do you think of? What comes up for you?
Death.
What's that?
Death.
I heard snakes.
People who died.
People who died. What's that? I heard something else.
I said darkness.
Darkness, right? Yeah. Now, what kind of environment is this for kids? It's a dangerous, it's a not very good environment, right? What's that?
Falling rocks.
Falling rocks. All sorts of stuff inside this cave. And not only are the children in here, right? But they're also what? Chained. Right? So imagine prisoners chained since childhood deep inside a cave. Not only are their limbs immobilized by the chains, their heads are as well, so that their eyes are fixed on a wall. And immobilized means what?
They can't move.
They can't move. So we got these people who've been chained here since childhood inside of this dark cave with fallen rocks and, probably some bats and all other types of stuff in the cave too, right? And they've been there and now they're chained so that their eyes are fixed on a wall, right? Their eyes are fixed on the wall. Now, let's continue on. Let's see what else is going on. So not only are their limbs immobilized by the chains, their heads are as well, so their eyes are fixed on the wall. Behind the prisoners is an enormous fire. And between the fire and the prisoners there's a raised way, along which men carry shapes of various plants, animals, and other things. All right? So let's go back up here to this part about the fire. What is a fire?
Hot.
It's hot. All right?
Burning.
What else? It's burning.
It's light.
It's light. All right?
It can endanger people.
It could endanger people. It's warm. All right? And what do you think? In this cave, there is this light. What do you think that symbolizes? Life, hope. Okay. All right. Other folks, what do you think it symbolizes?
Fear, I think.
Fear? Okay. Cool. So let's go back to this. All right? So behind the prisoners is an enormous fire. And between the fire and the prisoners, there's a raised way. So there's this walkway. So the prisoners are over here, the walkway's behind them, and behind them is the what?
Fire.
The fire, right? Along which men carry shapes of various plants, animals, and other things. Now, since the people are here, the wall is behind them, the fire's behind them, and these people are carrying these shapes, what do you think the shapes are going to do?
Cast shadows.
They're going to create shadows. They're going to cast shadows. Right? Yeah. The shapes cast shadows on the wall, which occupy the prisoner's attention. Wait a minute. So they're sitting here, and what are they looking at?
Shapes.
Shapes and shadows, right? So what is a shadow? What's a shadow?
A gray image that's casted by too much light, and then,
Okay.
then there's a shadow underneath. And
Okay, so a gray image that's caused by too much light. What was?
Outline.
An outline of an image. A figure. All right. All right. Is the shadow the same as the original image?
No.
No. Why?
Usually distorted.
It's usually bigger or it's distorted, right? So these folks are sitting in this cave, trapped with these chains on their heads and on their limbs, right? Since childhood, looking at these shadows, right? And the shadows are distorted images of what? What's really there, right?
That's the things that they're carrying.
All right. So the things that they're carrying around, they're seeing these shadows, right? So when they look at the shadows, are they seeing the real thing?
No.
No, because it's distorted, right? It's distorted. Also, when one of the shape carriers speaks, an echo against the wall causes the prisoners to believe that the words are coming from the shadows. What's an echo? Reverberation of a voice. Okay, sound of a voice, right?
Or sound. Yeah.
Or sound, okay. And how do echoes usually, what do they like sound like?
Louder.
All right, so sometimes they can be louder, hello, la, 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 la. Or they could also do what? Kind of fade out and get softer, hello,
There's
hello.
vibrations, more vibrations, and it sounds like that way to me.
Yeah, because it's vibrating. Now, is the echo the same as the original voice?
No.
No. Right? So no, it's not even the same. So they're listening to these echoes, right? What's the second problem with the fact that they're listening to echoes?
But they're hearing more than one.
They think that the shadows are talking.
Yeah.
Right? They think that the shadows are talking. So not only are they already messed up because they're looking at these shadows, they think that the shadows are talking. And what do we know about shadows? Do they talk? No. Right? So if we walked up in the cave and we saw the situation, what would we think about these people?
Well, boy, they need some big help.
They need some big help, right? They're pretty pitiful.
They've been traumatized.
Yeah.
They don't know.
Right. So now they're worse than pitiful, right? Because they're thinking about these shadows talking, right? Now let's continue on and see what happens. The prisoners engage in what appears to be a game, naming the shapes as they go by. Wait a minute. These folks now not only are they looking at these shadows, they think that the shadows are talking, right? There's people walking around, and these prisoners are doing what with the shadows? Naming them. And they're also what? Playing games with them, right? They're playing games. All these shadows are going by, and they're playing games with the shadows, naming them.
They don't have anything to do.
They don't have anything to do.
Because in prison, everybody tells you what to do.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
It's their way of life. They don't know that it's...
Now, if you and I were in a prison, what do you think we should be thinking about?
Getting out.
Getting out.
Yeah, doing what you got to
Right?
do to get out.
Doing whatever I got to do to get out. Right? So why are they not doing this?
Because they're chaining against the wall, and these other people are playing games with them.
Uh-huh.
And they don't realize that they should be looking to get out.
This, however, is the only reality they know, even though they are seeing mere shadows of images. This is what they know, right?
Yeah.
This is what they know. If my family was brought up like this and we have certain kinds of chains, what am I going to grow up with?
Some kind of change.
The same kind of chains, right? The same kind of chains. If my country brings me up in a certain kind of way, what kind of chains am I going to have? Same kind of chains, right? Same kind of chains. So let's suppose a prisoner is released and compelled to stand up and turn around. So first of all, one of the prisoners gets free, stands up and turns around, and what's the prisoner going to see?
Those things, the
That
shapes.
fire.
He's going to see the shapes. What else is he going to see?
That fire.
He's going to see the fire, right? What else is he going to see? He's going to see the wall. What else is he going to see?
The men.
The men.
The man.
He's going to see the people walking around, right? Now, he's been chained since childhood. He turns around. He sees all this stuff. What do you think this prisoner thinks? He's probably scared, confused, right? Maybe a little bit angry, right? Can you remember the first time when you realized that your parents tell you about the world and that kind of stuff, and there comes a time when you find out for yourself and you go, oh, why didn't they? This isn't how they told me it was going to be, right? Do you remember that time? Right. And if you have